Greetings, traders. Zach here from the Trading Network. Hope you guys are doing well and that you had a nice weekend. I am back with another weekly market profile forecast for you this evening, and we are going to start off with some NQ on the daily or the session profile first and foremost. So let us dive right in here. I want to really just discuss these areas of interest that I'm going to be looking at moving forward for the coming week. Most importantly, I am going to be watching the highs from Friday. I think that's going to be my most immediate line in the sand, if you will. And if we can move and hold above the high on Friday at 13,310, looking for a move closer to that 13,400 level. And that's going to be a major pivot if we can get up there. Now, if we cannot get up there, if we struggle to even move above Friday's high, I will be looking for a move back down to Friday's low. And if we break that back into the low from the August 3rd daily New York session, and you can see here that that coincides right around the high of the August 2nd into August 3rd overnight session, as well as the August 2nd value area high from that New York session there. So I will pop over to the weekly profile and I will show you guys how things look here. You can see again this 13,350-ish area, if you want to call it that, is going to be very, very important. And if we can move and hold above that, then that's going to open up a nice move to 13,600-ish in my opinion. So 13,350, you can see that we have a volume point of control here on the monthly volume composite. Right around, let's see, what is this, 13,275, and you can see that that coincides here with a value area from this weekly profile as well. So if we can move and hold above this monthly volume composite and work above last week's high at 13,346, I would look for first this 13,396, 13,400 level to get tested, which I was just referring to in this area. So that would be moving above these prior overnight high from Thursday into Friday from last week. And that's going to be really my major levels that I'm looking at on the upside. Of course, if we move and hold above 13,600, then I'll be looking on a weekly basis at 13,781, which is the value area low from all the way back in April 18th. So we are moving back into some territory that we have not visited from or for quite some time. You know, even now we are into a weekly profile that we haven't seen since early May. So look for these levels to the upside, or watch reaction to these levels on the upside rather. And you can see we have a naked POC up here at 14,181, but we got a long way to go before we get there. So on the downside, I will be looking at a move to this 13,123 if we struggle to move and hold above this 13,270 level. And that is the point of control from, again, the May 2nd weekly profile, 13,123. It's going to be an important level to the downside. If we can hold that, consider that a possible new support level on a more macro time frame. Perhaps we see something like this where we move down, test 13,123 or that area, and then move back up to retest this monthly volume composite and ultimately last week's high at 13,350-ish, call it. But, you know, again, we just have to take things one level at a time and be very patient and just wait to see how price reacts to those levels, most importantly. So on the downside, again, if we break below 13,123, I think this 13,000 level is going to be very important. That is the weekly high from the July 25th weekly session or weekly profile. And we have last week's point of control right below that at 12,980. And of course, last week's low, about 160 points below that at 12,820. So major levels to the downside from where we are currently at 13,216. Look for most immediately our first level of higher time frame support at 13,123. If that breaks, look for a move down to 13K. And if that breaks, watch for, we could really just consider this a support zone between 13K and 12,980. And if that breaks, that will increase the probability significantly of us coming back down, revisiting last week's low. So on the upside again, 13,350-ish. Watch for that monthly volume composite here at 13,270. And then we have upside 13,330-ish, 13.4, and then 13.6 area. Okay, so that is basically the gist of things on NQ. Those are the major levels that I'm interested in moving forward into the beginning of the week, and really just want to keep an open mind, just keeping in mind that these are important levels, but not, catching a bias either way, just waiting for price to come to these levels and then seeing what it does there. So let's pop over onto the ES chart and we can discuss a little bit here. Session profile, not a ton to notate here other than this 4,100 area where we have Friday's low and Thursday into Friday overnight session, that low right around 4,100. So that's an important spot. And I really think if we break that to the downside, that we're going to come and tap this 4,072 naked point of control. You can see that right here. And this extends all the way down to the end of the chart, showing us that that is a point of control that has not been tapped since it was created on the July 28th regular trading hour session. So from a session profile perspective, those are my really major levels that I'm looking at. If you want to get even more granular, if we break 41.23, look for a move down to 41.07, 41.03, and then if that breaks down to 4,072, that naked POC right here. Okay, so on the upside, from a quick session profile perspective, Friday's high, 41.53. If we can move above that, look for a move to the Thursday into Friday overnight high at 41.66. Major line in the sand here is 41.73 from a session profile perspective. Once again, that is the overnight high from August 3rd into August 4th. And you can see if we pop up over onto the weekly market profile, you can see that 41.70 is the June 6th weekly high as well. So that is last week's high, and that is the high from the week of June 6th. So moving above 41.70, obviously we have another weekly high, 41.90 here. But moving above this area opens up a move to 42.50. Obviously, we need to move and hold above this 42.15 level, but these are some major areas to keep an eye on. And of course, just like NQ, we've got a naked POC to the upside here at 44.70. And we also have one to the downside at 39.69. So it's going to be very interesting to see whether or not we can hold the lows from last week at 40.80. If so, I believe that we will likely test these prior weekly highs from a couple of months ago. If we do move below 40.80, significant probability increases that we move down and touch this naked POC from the week of July 25th. So watch for 4,080. That's last week's low. So if we break that, look for some further downside. First levels are going to be 40.57, 40.16, and then if 40.16 breaks, just look for that 39.69.50 level, 39.70 if you want to call it that. And those are going to be very important levels to the downside. Again, just to reiterate one more time, look for a reaction or look for a test of this if we can get up there, 41.70 level. If we can move and hold above, look for a move to 41.90, 42.15, 42.50-ish. And then if we can move and hold above these lows from the April 18th weekly profile, I think it's very likely that we see this 4,300 level pretty quickly. Again, keep in mind that we are in between naked POCs. We're much closer to the downside naked POC at 39.70. But, if the bulls step in, that might sit there and hang out for a while without getting tapped. So keep these levels in mind. Once again, like I was talking about when I had the NQ profile up, keep an open mind. We have a naked POC down here, 12,427. We have a naked POC all the way up here at 14,181. But we've got a lot of levels that I discussed previously to work through and work on and find high probability trade opportunity at, most importantly, before we get to these naked POCs. So I hope this helps. I hope you guys find this information valuable. I want to thank you very much for being a part of the Trading Network. If you would like to learn more about joining our private community where you can watch the Trading Network live streams daily, Monday through Friday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern, please check out thetradingnetwork.io, where you can, of course, purchase access to the private Discord. You can purchase access to the Trading Network proprietary indicator package, one-on-one mentorship with myself, as well as the fundamentals of futures trading, which is my comprehensive course that discusses multiple trading strategies for varying market conditions. Thank you guys again. I appreciate your time very much, and I will see you in the next video.